everyone, I'm Edyta from Laundry Basket Quilts. Welcome to Quilting Corner Live. Oh my gosh, guys, I have a super cool surprise for you today. Guess what? Our Joy collection is in the house. I'm so excited. Joy collection is my Christmas collection for the fall, but the fabric already comes in now, so we have plenty of time to make a beautiful projects. The fabric are stunning. You have to see them. I have some bundles to show you. And this is a half-yard bundle. Look at those beautiful pieces. Isn't that gorgeous? I'm going to show you the fabric in just a moment. And guess what? If you're watching the show, I'm going to have a fun question for you guys. And somebody is going to win one of our newest bundles. So stay tuned and watch the whole show. Now, with this collection, I designed beautiful selection of patterns. Supernova is one of my personal favorite. It's a traditional pattern. It calls Pine Bird pattern block. And I designed this pattern to include the reds and greens. It's just stunning. I love this one. Then a second pattern that I designed is Joyous Star. In this one, I fussy cut my pre-printed panel, and today's show is going to be all about fussy cutting, strip cutting from the panel. So many of you have been asking, how do you cut your panel? How do I get the most out of it? Where do I watch? I got you. As soon as I show you all the goodies, I'm going to take a panel and show you some cutting. Are you in? I hope so. So in Joyous Star, I have the fussy cut panel right in the center of the block. Another favorite, Virginia Star, is so beautiful. Virginia Star, enjoy. Look at this. We have the quilt top done thanks to one of my friends, but it's not quilted yet, and it is just stunning. The next one is Joy Around the World. That one is so simple. We're gonna have a pre-cut strips pre-cut kits. Super fun and easy. Anybody that use my technique for trip around the world, you know you can make this quilt in a day. And now with the pre-printed panel for a border, you can add this extra detail of baskets and star all the way around the quilt with hardly any work. And speaking of hardly any work, guys, you're not gonna believe this. 2 hours for this quilt, that's all. I got the kit last night. Michael brought it home from the studio. Look at how beautiful it is. It's gorgeous, even as a gift. If you want to, you can just add a ribbon and you have a beautiful gift. But I didn't want to leave it as a gift. I opened it right up, pull up my fabrics, and let me show you inside. You have 4 fabrics. This is your binding. This is one of the strips, the smallest one. This is the medium size. And this is the fussy cut piece that I have it right here. In the kit, we included 2 yards of the fabric, and you're gonna need 62 inches. So you have 10 inches room from left to right to shift your borders and cut what you need. And today, this is what I wanted to do. I wanna show you how I cut panels, how I cut blocks for all these beautiful quilts, because I think just like me, you're gonna be so excited about this pre-printed panel, and you're gonna wanna have so much more than just the 2 yards. And yes, do not worry, because guess what? I have plenty of yardage for you guys. This panel comes on the bolt like this, okay? And it is, you can get the yardage on our website. We just posted the fabric. You can go to our website. The full Joy collection is ready, set, go. And in this pre-printed panel, you have a 1, 2, now pay attention, 3, 4 baskets row, and you have 3 Ohio Star rows. So you have a total of 7 rows. Then you can cut it out of that panel. Or if you want it, you can cut individual blocks. I cut myself a half a yard so I can make room here and show you some cutting, and this is what we're gonna do today. And also I wanna show you some of the tricks and tips that I have for you for cutting the stars that we're using in our contest. You don't know about the contest? Come on. You must have heard it. We're doing a 4th of July contest. And all that you need is a half a yard of star fabric. You designed the quilt. Then you send a picture. We load it to our album. And on 1st of July, we're closing the submissions of pictures. And on 4th of July, it's going to be fireworks of door prizes. And so many of you going to win prizes for submitting the most beautiful quilts. We're going to have my choice, our viewers' choice. Oh, guys, our staff get to choose the best quilt. So if you're not part of that event, you must go ahead, go to our blog, or email us and we send you all the information about that one. So I want to show you some fussy cutting, but before I go and show you that, I want to make a little bit more room here. So when I fussy cut things, I need a really nice rotary and a ruler. And starting with a rotary, I love this alpha rotary because I can hide the blade in it. And then also, I love myself a new blade. Anytime I'm cutting something new and exciting, I like to put a nice fresh blade if mine is old and doesn't work good, because guess what? Your cutting is like the first step to set you on a success. So good rotary, nice blade, that is 2 things that you can already get and improve your cutting right away. Then the next thing that you're gonna need for fussy cutting is a selection of rulers, and I bet you have rulers. So go into your stash of rulers and get a nice selection. I like a good square ruler, and this one is 8.5 by 8.5. It's one of my personal favorites because I use it quite a bit. I make a lot of 6.5-inch blocks, so it's a little bit bigger than 6.5, and I love this size because it's easy to maneuver and it's easy to work with it when I cut the panel. I'm gonna leave that one on the top of my table because I'm gonna show you how I cut my blocks with it. Then you can use a long ruler, and this 6.5 by 18.5 inches ruler is also really nice. You could get the one that it's 24, but I thought I'm gonna use this one. It's a little bit smaller, it's easier for me to handle, so I'm gonna use this one for especially for the video. If you want a longer one, go for it. I'm focusing on small section and gonna be cutting them. I think this is gonna be great. If you have smaller blocks like the stars, you're gonna want a little bit smaller rulers. So those 4.5 width rulers are really nice. If it's this one, a 4.5 by 8.5 or 4.5 by 12.5, it's gonna work great. I like this one because it's small enough that I can hold it and fussy, see where my block is gonna be, and then figure it out and cut it. But also if you want a little, just a square 4.5 by 4.5, perfect. I'm gonna put those to the side. I'm gonna keep those 2 in front of me, and I'm gonna be using them to show you how to cut in just a moment. When I do projects like this and I want to do a nice job and sew it really quickly, I'm using a Orfield weight 50, and this is 2312, really nice color, and this is gonna go great with any of the panels because the panel has a light background, so the thread is gonna blend really nice to that background. It's really great thread. I love Orfield threads. When you sewing things like this, you want to have pins because you're going to have panels and you're going to be sewing the long strips, and you want to have a surface where you're going to make your strips, make your panels, lay everything together and pin it from the beginning to the end, because sometimes if you take 2 strips and you're sewing them and you are excited and you're having great time, you may be pushing or pulling something too hard and then your strips are not even. So I always lay my 2 pieces on the table, put them right side together, pin, 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 and then I start sewing. I do this with my borders, I do it with my panels. It was so fun and quick. I always make sure I have at least pin in the middle and multiple out and in the middle and down, because it's so easy to pull and push. So remember that pinning in a long sewing length like this, so important. Now, next thing that you're gonna need is you maybe don't want this thread, you want something that matches better the colors, and we do have a little Christmas set. I asked the girls to bring it because I want to show you those colors. Those are from previous collections that I have. But notice you have the light ones, you have the taupes, you have beautiful reds and gorgeous green, and there's one really happy green for like just a little bit of an accent, a variegated, and that olive green. So if you wanted something that it's a little bit more color coordinated, you could try those beautiful Christmas collection from Laundry Basket Quilts. It goes great with the fabric. And before we start cutting panels, let's look at all the fabric. Week is gonna fly by, but I know you maybe don't get a chance to go to your local quilting stores, so I want to take you through the journey and show you all of the pieces. Is that okay? I have such a good selections of greens, starting with this beautiful big print of roses. I know you're gonna say roses for Christmas. Yes, why not? Let's do red roses with beautiful olive green and brown leaves with gorgeous green background. Then this is accent with a little bit more happy, I call it yaki greens, and we're gonna be going through all the pieces. Notice this one. I love this one. You can fussy cut if you want a little trim. So fussy cutting, you can cut out fussy cutted pre-printed panel, but you can also cut maybe fabrics. Like if I want to fussy cut a rose, I'm gonna be using the same idea, the same tools, good rotary, nice ruler, and in a moment I'm gonna show you how I measure and cut it. In this collection, I did bring two fabrics that are having a little bit of a tint of a brown with a delicate blue in it. I love those. To me, it was such a nice accent with this big print. Look what is happening. Isn't that lovely? So there is such a good selection of gorgeous greens from light to dark, from olive green to true green. You're gonna have a wonderful time browsing through those fabrics and enjoying. There is another one that you can use as a fussy cut panel, and then there is the plaid. I know sometimes when you're cutting plaid, you have to pay attention to the lines and you want to be nice and straight so nothing goes off. If you want to avoid it, cut your plaid on bias, and that way all your lines are going right across. Now look at this medium print. Isn't it cute, those little leaves? And there's another big print, this time with a light background, and notice all of this beautiful grasses have that tiny bit of a teal green into it. It's not a green, it has a little teal into it. I really like that, and that's what I did for this Christmas. I didn't want to do just red and green. I wanted just something soft and incredible, and I see this. Look at how nice it matches and blends in. I can be taking all these pieces, putting them together, swap them back and forth, collage them into a great combinations. This is that panel that I told you about it. In our full collection, we including the piece of the panel, so that way you get a little taste of it, and maybe you use it as your little cornerstone or center of the quilt, or maybe it's gonna be the inspiration to get more for a beautiful border. Look at this delicate print. It's little bouquets with red and pink flowers and a gorgeous little leaves. I really like that one too. Then every collection that I do, I love to have something that I know I can be using over and over again, that it has a beautiful lines, but the direction doesn't matter, how I cut it, what I do with it, and it becomes one of my personal favorite because it's one to go for like a background for a canvas. You can put applique over, you can use it as a background for piecing. Those delicate flower would look like a shadow of whatever you decide to do on this piece. And I use that same print right here in the panel, right there. Notice it. Let me show you the panel again, right here as my alternate squares, because that tie everything really nice together for me. So that's what I like to do, and I knew it, that no matter how I cut it, it's very good print to hide and be very strong in the background and give me a good support for nice beautiful blocks. Notice this, I call it polka dot, but it's really an oval shape, beautiful dot, and it's in green, red, and a light green. Then another little detail, light ones. I love that little delicate print Then we talk about this one. We saw it green on light on green, but look at how stunning it looks when you have a light with green branches, red flowers. Oh, this would be so much fun to cut it and piece it into a quilt as one of the borders. And I just want to bring something to you. Notice I give you a little room right here, because when you cut it, you want to have enough for your 1/4 inch seam allowance and don't lose the design. So don't be worried about it. You can cut right through the middle of the red. That is going to be part of your seam allowance, or you can cut it right next to the red, and that you still have plenty of room to include a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So all those little things. And guess what? I'm learning with you how to use and how to fussy cut. So if I develop anything new and exciting, you're gonna be the first one to know. Look at this print. I had this print done in blue and light little stars, and it was the best, the best, the best. It was in our Sea Breeze collection. And when I designed this collection, I was like, I must have this. This is so beautiful. I loved it so much that we included that behind all of the beautiful basket as a background. For our Ohio star, I included this beautiful print. But the little green stars, I know if you're going to buy something, buy at least 4 yards, because you're going to be using this over and over again. So now having a stripe on the angle, it's so successful because it gives you perfect binding, perfect little detail. It has such a nice movement. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece. Another lovely small print with the delicate flowers, and we're back to those cute little leaves in a medium size with the delicate pink. Those little branches and flower look so delightful. And I love my selections of reds and pinks. Look at how gorgeous they are. Anything you're gonna do for Christmas, they are gonna be so, so nice. So it's not like the true red, it's more dull down, low tea dye red, soft and delicate and beautiful. It looks vintage because of the paisleys, the delicate print, and that accent of green just smooth things out. You can easily go ahead, add another green to it. Oh, I love this one with it. Look at this. And when I'm mixing and matching my pieces, I always think of my rule of 5. Big print, medium print, small print, some kind of stripe, some kind of polka dot. And look at, in my collections, I do this already for you guys, so it's nice and easy for you when you color coordinate. But as you're picking pieces, think of that too. So that way we're both watching that you have the most beautiful designs and beautiful pieces. Now we're moving back into those medium reds and dark reds. For the medium reds, I have a gorgeous plaid, an unusual fun print with polka dots on it, and a delightful red with green, gorgeous low images of leaves and berries. And now into the dark reds. Oh, they're gonna be so fun to use in a quilt, and especially our big print again. So the big print comes in a collection 3 times. 3 times it's in green, light, and this wonderful red. So those are just the few gorgeous pieces, but I know you're waiting to learn something new and exciting, and you want to see how I cut my panels, and that's what we're gonna do next. Before we start, I don't want to forget, I want to announce something to you guys. We have a brand new cut on our website. So normally we have fat 8s and fat 1/4s on our website, but this time we add 2 new cuts. We have a 1/8 of a yard. What it's a roll this time. It's 4.5 inches by width of fabric, full collection. So this and this are exact the same, except this is a regular 1/8 of a yard. This is a fat 1/8 of a yard. Fat 8, it's 9 inches by 20 to 21 inches, depends on the width of fabric. And the regular one is 4.5 inches by width of fabric, what it's 40 to 42 inches. So we have the 8 cut, but we also, let me show you, and this one is stunning, we have a regular quarter yard. So instead of fat quarters, you can get a regular quarter, and you get the longer strips in case you're working on log cabins or other project. I hope you're gonna enjoy those beautiful, gorgeous rows. And let me just tell you, this one especially delightful. So much beautiful fabrics in it. If you want those rolls, they're on our website at laundrybasketquilts.com, and I think you would really, really like those. You get enough for nice long strips. Try, maybe you have projects that you need the longer strips instead of the fat quarter or fat 8, so this way is the way to go. All right, I took enough of your time. You have been so kind, so patient, waiting. Look at, I kept that nice light because I love this light, but I'm gonna keep it closer. We're gonna talk about fussy cutting, panel cutting. So for example, this quilt right here, you open the kit, you open your fabrics, and you have all those beautiful panels. And when you open the fabric, you're gonna notice they're all stuck really nice this way. I did this on purpose because I didn't want you to piece your borders. I want you to be able to cut one straight long piece, and that way you can have it for this bar quilt, very Pennsylvania quilt, or you can have it for around the border. Now, because I love both stars and baskets, I chose both of the design. Now, what you're going to do, if you wanted to make a nice long borders, or if you want to go ahead and cut this panels like this, you have to be nice and careful because you need 7 panels, and that's what exactly you have. You're gonna take your beautiful long ruler just like this, and you're gonna go ahead and you can follow the points of your blocks. Can you imagine this? You can go ahead, because I want to follow the points. I know from here to here I have approximately 6 inches, 5 and 7/8 to 6 inches. You're gonna measure and you're gonna choose. Why is it 5 and 7/8 or 6? Because if you pre-wash your fabric, or if you like me, you went ahead, spray, press it, maybe the fabric strong just tiny bit. So if your panel is not 6 inches, not a big deal. You just measure what your block is point to point, and you're gonna be cutting dead for your panel right here. You can cut it as small as 5.5 or even smaller. I'm gonna show you this, because if you want the panels to be a little bit smaller, you can come up all the way to the points. This is up to you. I made this quilt and I used it up everything I had in the kit because I wanted to use up all of it. So I looked at for my points on the blocks. I took my ruler, I placed it right next to you, and you know in math, 2 points connected make a straight line. So I have 2 points nicely connected, and look, I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna move this up, finish cutting. So I have my first cut. Now I can go ahead and measure it, and it is almost 6 inches. It is so close, a little bit less than that, but that's okay. I'm not even paying attention to the measurements. The measurements are like double check for me, 5 and 7/8. But I am gonna pay attention that I'm gonna cut it on the points. I don't want to go into this panel because this panel gonna get too small. So I want to stay right on the edge, and I'm gonna match up the points just like this. It looks like my panel is gonna be 5 and 7/8, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut it again right here. Look at this. So this is how I went and cut my panels point to point, and I specially designed this that even if you're sewing it, this is okay. You're gonna lose those points here, but you're not gonna lose any points on your baskets. I left you plenty of room between this side and this side that you can, if you wanted to, let's say you want your panel to be smaller, as long as you put your ruler, you paying attention that on your ruler, you touching the points on your basket and you leaving yourself 1/4 inch, you can trim it and trim it if you want your panel even smaller. So this is what you need to do. For this particular quilt, like I said, I want to get everything out of it, so I cut it point to point to point. Sometimes it's going to be 6 inches, sometimes it's going to be 5 7/8. You can cut as low as 5 3/4, and in the pattern I made that knot to make sure that you guys remember, be flexible. We print this on fabric, and fabric, especially big pieces, the string, the stretch, you iron, things happen. It's all woven from thread, so things can vary, but the panel is designed quite beautifully because it gives you plenty of room. Look at how much room you have. Look at this. You have this much room between to create a beautiful panels, capture what's important, the beautiful design, and enjoy it in your quilts. All right, so that's that one. Now I'm pretty sure you're gonna be asking me how I fussy cut a block. Oh, I love fussy cutting blocks. I love to do that. I'm gonna do it with you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and cut a star to make it beautiful. Did you notice I brought this beautiful square ruler next to me? Oh, this is so lovely. And I always do this. I go ahead and look at my design before I make any cuts, okay? I take my ruler and I then estimate the smallest block I can get out of it and the largest block, okay? And anything in between, it's just a bonus. So the smallest block of a star that I can cut, look at this, I place my ruler right over, and what I'm paying attention is my points and leaving a 1/4 inch all the way around. So I have to tell you the smallest on this one, on the star, I would be 4.5 unfinished, okay? 4.5 unfinished. That is gonna give me plenty of room all the way around that if I'm piecing it, I will not lose any points of my gorgeous star. Let's cut one. I'm gonna place one right here and show you how I cut it, all right? So what I do is, and what I'm doing it, look what I'm paying attention to it. I'm watching my line right here that it's going in the middle. Then I now know that I need a 1/4 inch right here. I laid my ruler. Everything looks very similar on all my points. So now I'm gonna make my first cut right there. Right there. I have also, I want to move this, and I also, if I know that this approximately, I want a 4.5 inch, then half of that, it's 2.25. I paid attention to this line, but I also paid attention to 2.25 that it's in the middle of the block, and I can see this line 2.25 going through the middle of my star, and I can see this line, notice, right there going through the middle of my block. Do you see that? And if you cannot remember, you can cut one and tape a little tapes, so that way you always know where to go for all of the blocks if you're cutting bunch, okay? So that's for the star. I'm gonna cut 4.5. I'm gonna rotate, now finish cutting. This should be nice and easy now. Just match the 4.5. Yes, all my points are laying really, really nice. Everything is so beautiful. I'm gonna have plenty of room to sew all the way around my block and not lose any of my delightful, beautiful points. So that is what I would do for this one. Now, that's the smallest I could cut it. Now let me see what is the biggest block I can get out of it. I can tell that this matches right here and right here. So I can go ahead and match and look at it, and I could get a 5 7/8 or a 6 inch. Yep, I would go, and actually, you know, to be safe, I would have gone with 5 3/4. because I don't want to cut too much and then not have enough at my next one. So what I would do is I would go 5 3/4. Again, I would match it up, make sure that everything is laying nice, and then go ahead and cut a beautiful block. Let me do one in front of you so you guys can see it. Now, before I cut it, I double check. I always do this because it's so easy to cut it and then like, oh, I should have. And just a little advice, the more you do it, the better you get with it. So please don't give up because your first block is not gonna be perfect. No one is gonna notice. No one is gonna notice. The man on a horse passing by would not notice. You just need to practice, and cutting a panels like this, it takes a little practice. Okay, so we said that the biggest block we can cut would be 5 3/4. This is matching really good to my points. It looks wonderful. 5 3/4, half of it is 2 1/2, and 3/4, it would be another 3/8. So my middle is right here. Look at this, it's right, perfect. It's laying really nice. So guess what? Without hesitation now, I can go ahead and cut this really nice, and now rotate and finish cutting to 5 3/4. Beautiful, beautiful blocks. Oh, this is delightful. And now I can just daydream and enjoy. Are they gonna be the center square in a square? And notice it, I clipped off some of the light, but you would not even notice because when I designed this, I especially used this beautiful fabric that is so delicate, not enough accent that you would even notice. And all that it matters that now I have a beautiful center block, and I can make it either a little project, center of a block, maybe a little pincushion. This is gonna be so much fun. Now, this is the start block. Let's look at the basket block really quickly together. Yes, so remember, for the start block, the smallest you can cut, 4 1/2. The biggest one is 5 3/4, 5 7/8. You would be right there on the edge. 6, you have to like really stretch it and pull it, but I would recommend staying 5 3/4 because it gives you room to be fussy with your next block and your next block. When you're cutting a panel, everything is connected, so you're not losing anything for the cuts, the trimming, the this, the that. So it's a little bit different, but when you're fussy cutting individual blocks, I like to stay on a shyer side. Now let's look at this basket right here. We have made a cut that went all the way to the edge, so we know that the biggest one we can cut would be again 5 3/4, 5 7/8. Oh, this one is almost 6 inches, so definitely someplace in a mark of 5 3/4 again when you want to do the biggest one. But what is the smallest basket I can cut? Let me see. So look what I'm doing. I'm trying to center it up and see what I can get out of the block. And in this case, I need to rotate. Why? Because I want to see the basket standing up. So that is important to me. Did you notice how I was trying to do it from the side and my eye just wouldn't allow it? Because I want a nice, do you see now I feel balanced? I can see left and right of the basket. So I'm gonna put my ruler right there. I'm gonna give myself a 1/4 inch away from the farthest point right here. So I now have a width, okay? So the smallest on a basket that I can cut right there, look at, it is going to be 5 inches width. And let's see where the 5 inches bring me top to the bottom. Oh, quite lovely. Let me cut this to show you how nice it looks. I have a 1/2 inch here, so 1/4 inch for a seam. I still gonna have a nice light in the bottom separating me from the seam. I have a 1/4 inch here, so I'm gonna be just touching to the points, but I'm not gonna take them away because it's a little bit shy right here. And I have a plenty of room on the top. at least a half an inch right here after is pieced, because it's 3/4 right now. So center it up really nice. There's a little bit line that it's a little extra, and that's okay. Most important are my points on the right and the left. Now I'm gonna take my ruler and I'm gonna cut and cut, and now rotate to cut this, finish cutting this right out. And now we know it was 5 by 5, so it's easy now to lay your ruler, match it up, but I triple check, yep, plenty of room, room for here, beautiful. And I call it center up my basket, but I kept my basket actually a little bit more onto the bottom. Notice it, a little bit more onto the bottom, because to me the basket needs to stand up on something. I want a little bit more room on the top, because I thought if this goes in, look at how cute it is, and then here this 1/4 inch I still have plenty of room. And if I do a nice little quilting, that gives me a nice room right there, where here I just want to emphasize the base. So this is how I would cut my little blocks. And in one panel you can have multiple measurements. Question: can I cut 5" and 5". Absolutely. I just showed you the smallest you can cut for both of the designs, but if you want a 5" and it's the smallest for your basket, you can match this with your stars, so that way you can put them in the blocks, or you can use it in another design, anywhere you would like. So that is that one. Now, do you have a minute of time to look at this one? Let's quickly look at it. I had so many of you wanting to do this contest, so let's do the same thing. When I place my ruler onto my design, I make sure that there is a 1/4 inch from the points, okay? So the smallest I can cut is 1, 2, 3. I would say 3 3/4. I would go with 3 3/4. I mean, yeah. No, I would not go any smaller than that. 3 3/4 is the smallest, and you will not lose your points, okay? Biggest, you can cut it if you want to go just to the edge, okay, of the design, would be then, all right, hold on, 1, 2, 4 1/4, okay? But guess what? If you want to do something and you don't care about any of the star, but you need one that it's the biggest because it's the center, you can go ahead all the way to the edges of the stars that are neighbor to this star, and then look at it, and that looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 3/4. Look at this. I can get 5 3/4 if I needed for something. So this is what I like to do. I like to check my stars, see what I can get out of most of it, not losing the dark in the design. The light, it's especially designed to fade it in, give you a little detail, a little bit movement, but if you cut it right through it, the points are always set on point, because that allows you to cut out really nice blocks without sacrificing anything. If my panel would be set in this way, I would have always sacrificed some other design. Oh, I would have to cut on bias, and I don't want to do that for my block. I want a straight grain on the outside of my blocks. I hope this was helpful for you guys. And I have a wonderful question for you, for everybody that listened. Did you pay attention? I hope so. Can you tell me how many of the big print designs is in my new collection, this rose design? How many pieces you've seen it in this beautiful bundle that I showed you? Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, I love this. This is gonna be so incredible with all the beautiful blocks. And I love piecing. I have done Stars Glory. I love piecing, but sometimes you want something fun and quick and exciting, and using this panel for beautiful quick holiday quilts is gonna be perfect. Or maybe you did put a lot of work and piece the whole center, and you're running out of steam and you just need that perfect border. I got you. I got you. You just use that panel and put it around your border, and you have the extra stars that maybe you desire to make, but just did not have enough oomph and steam to do it. So do we know? Do we have an answer?
We do.
Are we going to take a winner on both? Are we streaming to Facebook and?
We are.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give away our Fat 8 bundles. All right. Our brand new card and a regular card. And one person, and I'm not going to tell you which one you're going to get it. Okay. You're going to get a Fat 8 or a regular 8 of a yard bundle, and it's going to be surprise. So tell us who won.
I love that. So on YouTube, well, and the answer was, maybe I shouldn't say, because we still need, did you already pick your winner, Mike, on Facebook?
I did. I'm going to go with the first one this time.
Okay, perfect.
Perfect.
I'll do it today. I'm not going to do random, it's just going to be single. I was a late start.
And the answer was?
3.
3. Yes, we have this beautiful big print 3 times. I'm going to try to pull to show you again. 3 beautiful pieces. And guys, today I finalized my next collection. Oh, you're going to have to hold me back. It is stunning. So, but for now we are enjoying our gorgeous joy and our 3 beautiful pieces. So look at this. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, you can use this. We have the yardage, so go to our website, get the yardage. We have all our patterns are loaded, and you can already get this kit. And I'm telling you, 2 hours. Ask Erin. I got the kit last night. I cut it this morning. Zoom, zoom, zoom. 2 hours later, I even fit lunch and visit with all the girls, and we had a big meeting about our next big event. What is our mystery quilt? I hope you're getting ready. So, it went so quickly together and so easy. It was, don't stress over, pay attention to the little points, cut it right there, and then sew it together into beautiful, beautiful panel quilt. So, and this one is going to be great for hand quilting. For anybody that loves a little hand quilting, can you imagine? I have a wonderful aunt, and Jane, she loves hand quilting, and she always looks for the panels because they're so easy to quilt.
I love that. Well, our winner on YouTube was Sally Logan.
Sally, congratulations. You're going to be receiving one of the bundles. It's going to be a lovely surprise for you, which one you get. And Michael, who won on Facebook?
Okay, the one I have here, the first one that actually got grabbed to us was Deborah from Farah.
Oh, wonderful. Congratulations, ladies. Deborah and
Sally.
Sally.
Yeah.
Deborah and Sally, please make sure you email us your address so that way we can go ahead and ship beautiful bundle to each of you. So super excited for you guys. Do we have any questions today?
We do. We actually have a great question from Julia.
I love
She
that.
was wondering, with sewing the long strips together, is it a good idea to sew one row from top to bottom and then the next one bottom to top?
Yes, what a good question and an answer right away. You are correct. I'm so proud of you. It is so crucial that you sew down and up, so that way you even things up, what is on the top, what is on the bottom. But the most important, even more important than sewing back and forth, is pin, so you have a clear beginning and the end, and measure everything before you pin it, so that way your panels are nice and even. And I just want to bring this back up to you. You know what I did? I took my panel before I cut it, like I got my panel this way, and I trimmed it first all the way here. So all my blocks were nice and even. So you need to trim it, measure, make sure that you want to fit 10 baskets for a total of 62.5 inches. You want a little bit more, so you give yourself a little bit room on the top, a little bit room on the bottom. Center it up, trim it, and then go ahead and enjoy it. And guess what? I just cut this kit. We included a little extra in the kit. So if you want to make your quilt a little bit longer, you are able to do this because you have 2 yards. You may be gonna have a half a basket, or but I know for a fact 1.5 basket extra in 72 inches. So Depends how the fabric is cut. You maybe even want to cut it through the middle of the basket. You don't need it to be a full basket when you start or end. So it's up to you. But remember, nice even pieces. Press it before you cut it, and don't stress for the width of your panel. Just measure point to point and go with that measurements. If it's 6 inches, good job. If it's 5 and 7/8, so be it. But pay attention to your points so you get a nice straight panel and all of them the same size.
Love that. We had one last question from Tracy Owens, and she is curious. I think she's loving all the new patterns, and she was wondering, are any of those patterns good for half-yard bundles?
Yes. Oh, yes, and let's triple check some of the fabric requirements. And we're gonna have kids. So if you want to get a half-yard bundle to play, or fat quarter, fat eighths, you can start playing on your table runners. Start making beautiful projects. This holidays, you can be the #1 with all handmade projects. And these fabrics are just gorgeous. Can you imagine have placemats and have the little stars on a side to put your fork and a knife into it? You can really collage and color coordinate and design something lovely. But speaking of patterns again, so this one, we're gonna have a pre-cut kit with the border that you're gonna cut it yourself. And this one is fat quarter friendly. So this is fat quarter friendly, and it's 15 fat quarters from the collections that are used in this quilt. So if you don't want to wait for the pre-cut kit, you can just get a fat quarter right there. And the yardage, this is Virginia Star. We also have this kit. It's gonna be incredible, and this one has quarter yard of 8 fabrics and quarter yards of 4 fabrics. So also fat quarter friendly to make this beautiful star. Then we have the Joyous Star, and that one for sure you want to have a fat quarter bundle, but you also gonna need additional yardage. I would go ahead to the website. I don't think this one is already listed on a website. I'm looking at Erin.
It's coming soon.
This one is coming soon, but so wait that we turn it on completely. That way you have all of the fabric requirements. And then this one is definitely fat quarter bundle for it. One Joy fat quarter bundle plus additional pieces. Look at the directions. This pattern is already on the website. And just a little side note, we do have incredible acrylic templates, and it is so fun to make this one. It is a little bit more difficult, but guess what? I know you guys, I know my followers. You are incredible quilters, and you are not afraid to try something new and exciting. So all of those bundles would be fun, and like I said, we're gonna have a lot of fun projects showing with these beautiful bundles, and getting ready for the holidays. And we have time now. Do we have any other questions, Erin?
You know what? One last question from Pat.
I love that.
She was wondering, will Joy coordinate well with Noelle? She may have some left over.
What a good question. Absolutely. A lot of my fabrics that I design, I make sure that the color dyes match really nice. And there is some fabrics from other collections that I have. Not Noel in this one, but also my Christmas collections, and look at how nice they go together. I really try to do my personal best to design a beautiful fabrics and for timeless collections and timeless quilts for you guys, and I hope you enjoy them. Thank you so much for watching our show today, our Quilting Corner. I hope from now on you can square up, fussy cut, and fussy cut panels anytime you need it. Pay attention to the center of your design, measure to the outside. Don't follow anything but your own guides of what you want to get out of the panel. And enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. Happy quilting!